Oh, hello.
Yo,
Fancy seeing you here anyway. How are you? Not that we arranged this anyway.
no, I had no idea. I had no idea I was here.
I should have a rule actually in our contract that you shouldn't be allowed to wear a fucking vest with them belts.
I've just done 55 press ups then before.
Like, I'm gonna do fucking literally side laterals. Right, we're on. We're on. How's your day been, bro?
Yes, I'll make busy one.
What you on?
I had a team meeting with the guys at the hub trying to set some things in place. And the wife is 50-50 on the hub with me. And she turned up an hour late. And you know what we're like, mate, when people are late and it sets your fucking meal time back.
Everything, mate. It sets everything back, doesn't it?
Yeah, the stress started bubbling.
Yeah, because especially when you're on prep, it's like there's everything's got its time slot, everything's got its
Yeah,
place. That's one thing people don't realize when you're on prep. It's like that's one of the most stressful things of having to fit so much shit in.
yeah. Well, that's so. I planned it. You know, you plan minute by minute, don't you? And then when I'm sat there and she's like an hour later, and I'm thinking, you're just overthinking. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I said to the guys, I was like, look, I've done as much as I can in this meeting now. We'll have to adjourn it or use carry on without me, and then I'll have to fucking meet up with you tomorrow or whatever. Like, do you really need to? Are you in that much of a rush? Why is that just going dark? And I said, well, look, I'm meeting someone for an in-person check-in at the gym.
Mm.
That's already been set up.
Yeah,
And
which is
I've got to get back because on the podcast with Ryan, I said, like, my day is accounted for. So if someone's like let me down an hour just because they've got time, it doesn't mean I have.
yeah, and this is one thing that people have to understand. I always put this to the clients is when they're getting into a prep, they have to understand that they're going to have to be not selfish, but just have that authority or like that confidence to say, actually, my time is my time, and I
Yeah,
just get set out. Like you always put on your story in the morning, like the non-negotiables.
yeah,
It's literally is that it has to be non-negotiable because if it's not, and you start swaying, I've seen younger lads or even like older lads who just started out prep. They'll start swaying and be like, oh, you know what, I'll just push my meal back. Oh, you know what, I'll just go there and I'll just do this. And before you know it, they're off track. They've not got all this like fucking cardio in. They've
yeah.
not trained. All the water's off, and it's like you can't afford that on a fucking prep.
I've had a fair few clients where things like that have happened. They've gone, or I got up late or whatever. I was busy in the morning, but I thought, you know what, I'll do my cardio later on. But then something came up. Yeah, no shit, mate. Something always comes up.
Yeah,
That's why you set non-negotiables. It's not negotiable. That's part of your look. You wake up and you go to sleep. Like that's the same. You fucking wake up and you get shit done. That's
yeah.
what you set that time. Everyone else is in bed sleeping.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of getting up so early, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
I like to get up an hour earlier than I call the world. So like when everyone else will get up at 7, I like to get up at like half 5, 6. So I'm ahead of the not because I think I'm going to be better than anybody. It just allows me to have my time when the world's still asleep and no
well, I
one's
think.
texting me.
But I think with that is right because of what we do as well. You know, your phone's going ding dong, and everyone wants to speak to you all day. So if you're up before everyone else, you at least just get a clear mind. You can go for your walk. It's one of the most peaceful, like amazing feelings ever, especially if you're abroad and
Yeah.
you're walking down the beach and then you just grab yourself a black coffee and you think you start to then get everything done before most people's days have started.
Thing is, even now, like that Andrew Huberman, who's like looking at all the neuroscience of everything, he's got a really popular podcast. He says about literally sunlight. First thing you've got to do is get your to get a really good night's sleep is to get out in sunlight and get your is it Cadian rhythm or whatever I
Yeah,
pronounce that?
well, we might get laughed at here, but I thought it was some like Arcadian rhythm.
It's
I
fucking
know, I know
whatever
what
it
you mean.
is. He knows what he's talking about, but
Yeah,
it's basically to get that set because you get that sunlight into your. It's weird. It's like get it into your eyes. Like don't look directly in the sun, but it's going to endure the amount of benefits to that, like saunas and all these other things. It's proven. It's huge. Do you know what I
mate,
mean?
so even like you talk about your REM sleep and all that kind of shit, and when you just said that about that whatever the name we just said rhythm, there's an actual fucking certain time because of the sunlight
Mm-hmm.
that your body should like it might be like let's just say it's 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's when you at 6 a.m. That's when you should be sleeping.
Yeah,
And that's why people that work night shifts and stuff end up with like depression, end up eating shit. No, when people struggle to diet, they struggle to stay in shape, sometimes you kind of feel from them like oh, it is actually harder for some people because of their shift pattern.
yeah,
Like
100%.
they're going to because of the sleep. and the lack of and the changing of sleep, it's going to make them actually scientifically they're going to be hungrier.
Yeah, because the days are so skew.
Yeah,
And it's an imbalance within the body.
yeah.
What I was going to say then. So obviously now you're still on prep till true athlete.
3 weeks out, brother.
Yeah, you're feeling it.
I feel how I should feel.
Mm.
So I feel good. I feel good, mate. I'll be honest. I feel fucking good.
When obviously you feel how you should feel.
Yeah.
What is that? No, because obviously someone who hasn't prepped doesn't know how you should feel.
Oh yeah. So let's talk as if someone needs to know the answer to this, right? So 3 weeks out, you should have a lack of energy. Your sleep is going to be disturbed. You are going to be a little bit short. Your motivation's going to be low. But then if you start telling yourself this on the daily, oh, I feel terrible because this, I feel terrible because this. No, you feel how you should feel and then be happy about it. So I just said to you, I feel fucking great. I feel great because I feel
you know the way you feel now, because we've been through the process so many times.
Yeah.
If you wasn't feeling this way, you wouldn't be ready.
I wouldn't be ready and I wouldn't feel happy.
No,
if I had tons of energy and no brain fog and everything was great, then I'd be like, something fucking wrong here.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for it.
Yeah, mate. I've had that so many times. Like I've had it in the midst of prep where I feel so good. I feel like this can't be right. I'm not fucking anywhere near. And like obviously in the middle of prep, that's all right. But when you get to them last 4 weeks of prep, you know full well that if you're not feeling like death's door and you're not dragging your ass,
you kind of wish for it, don't you? You're like, oh, I need to feel that hunger. I need to feel tired. I need to feel like I'm on prep. And then when it comes, you're like, oh shit. I wish
we had this conversation the other day as well. Like almost when you feel so good and you're in such a groove and everything's just ticking, like you say, you're up early, you're proactive, you're motivated, you set up so much shit to like business opportunities, clients.
Yeah,
I do it with like family commitments and so on. And then it's like, you'll do the same. And it's then you're like, fuck, I've got to fucking do all this. And it gets to 4 weeks out. Like I moved house, I fucking set up a new business. I brought on fucking staff. I was like literally booking holidays, travel. I was like, wow, fuck, I wish I'd just fucking sat there and done nothing.
How good does it feel though, that productivity? So when I'm like, for example, I go to the cinema a lot. It's my pastime. I like doing it, right? But even when I'm there, I might have to text a few things. I'm like, shit, I need to sort that, because I've got other businesses and stuff as well. I need to sort that. I send a message quick. If I've ever gone to the cinema and sat and not thought about anything else and I'm just focused on a film because I'm so relaxed, it gets halfway through and I think, shit, everything's so good.
Yeah.
There's clearly something wrong.
Yeah.
It's about to go wrong.
Yeah, I forgot something. Or
I'm missing something. And it's always true, mate.
Very hard to switch off as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, mate.
Side note, what's your favourite film ever? You've got an action film.
Okay.
You've got like a comedy. What's your go-to?
The Book of Eli.
That's good choice.
Brilliant, that. Brilliant. It's hard on the spot, but then maybe Step Brothers comedy.
Yeah. Step Brothers and Anchorman are very close.
Yeah, Anchorman.
Very close. But I think Anchorman, they ruined it because of the second one.
Yeah.
I've done the second one. It was just like, you're trying too hard now.
It's never as good, mate.
I just leave it. Mine is Man on Fire.
Man on Fire? Why have I never seen that? Who's that?
You've never seen that film?
I don't think so. I might have.
Denzel Washington. Yeah, where he looks after that little girl. He's a bodyguard. You've never seen?
Put him in notes now.
Hello? Yeah. All right.
What
the fuck? Thought we had something good, man. I thought we had a connection. Have you not seen that film?
If it was pre-age of 22, I was so high every day that
you probably have seen it. That's a good excuse, to be fair. Yeah. I'll give you that one, mate.
Far too many drugs used back then that I don't know what.
Drugs used now.
True. Just a different type of drug now.
Yeah, people are slated for anything, so we just do what we want anyway. Class. No, I do. I absolutely love the cinema. I always have that thing. If people don't understand like Step Brothers or Anchorman humor, that just don't get it. I'm like, we're not going to be friends.
No, I love that humor. That is great.
Yeah. It's just
I find that when you're so deep in prep, you can't concentrate on shit. I can't watch one of them then.
No.
I'm not laughing.
It's too happy.
Yeah, I'm not laughing and I'm not taking it in.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
It's so hard, so hard to watch a film, mate.
when I'm prepping, I even get, sun sound fucking really bad, but I even get mad at people who are like happy. I'm like, oh yeah, fucking yeah, just fucking laughing, joking, have your fucking cake.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so like, I don't do that out in public, but in my head, I think,
That's what you're thinking.
yeah, I begin like, why are you so fucking happy?
Yeah.
You fucking.
I was out for a friend's birthday meal the other day and sat next to someone. He's ordered some cheesecake. He's like, "I'm sorry, bro." And I went, "Don't worry about it. It's fine." In my head, I'm thinking, "I hope to God you fucking choke on
Yeah,
that."
and do you know what drives me insane? You go, "Is it good?" I go, "It's not. It's all right."
Yeah, and then they leave a bit, mate. They leave a bit. Oh, I'm full now.
Yeah, or that annoys me as well. Is like, you could just have a bit. Surely, just one bit won't hurt you. So. If I could have a bit, I'd have some.
Do you know what though? When obviously I just competed in Portugal, didn't I, a few weeks ago? Or a few weeks ago? I mean, last week. I don't even know. Anyway,
Yeah, last week or week before.
Ewan come with me, and Ewan's in prep, and it was nice that my wife Chris fucking threw out and surprised me. That was incredible. I met a friend out there who's also coached by Jamie, a lad from South Africa. We spent time together, and after the show, we all went for a meal. Obviously, Ewan couldn't eat because he's on prep. I didn't mind doing it because I know that I do it all the time and he's done it millions of times. That's what we do. But I did that fucking thing that, well, basically, Jamie said to me, "Look, eat, mate. I need you to fully relax here now and eat because you've got 5 weeks until your next show and you know that you just like burn through shit. So don't be just sitting eating your salmon and rice and stuff." So what I did was I ordered salmon and potatoes and I thought, shit, I've just done what he told me not to. Like loads of starters, cheesy garlic bread, everything that I wouldn't normally do. I didn't finish it. And there's not one piece of cheesy garlic bread left. And Ewan's going, "Are you going to eat that?" And I'm like, "I don't want it." And he's like, "Mate, don't you dare. Don't
you fucking dare." But you do have to, I know, straight after a show as well, your eyes are bigger than your belly and you've had that much carbon up and your water's been restricted. And it's literally like a fucking lead balloon in your stomach, can it? And you're just like, you know what?
At the end of the day, mate, like what I was looking for was to relax, to not have to think about the prep food and whatever, and just spend some time having a normal conversation with friends.
Being present, in it.
Yeah, not. I wasn't asked what the food was. I wasn't bothered about it in the slightest.
Like, do you remember your first ever prep where you literally would have everything written down, a box with I did anyway, I had a fucking box with a lock on it, with everything that I wanted to eat in it. Do you remember Bikini Baker?
Yeah.
That me and Jamie spent about, it must have been 120 quid on a fucking Bikini Baker cake. Like, I mean, we were sat there just like, "What do you want on it, bro?" And it was like in lists of everything. And it just, you just get to a stage where you just think, what did I spend? We spent 880 quid on cereal, on fucking American cereal, on like cardio, Amazon.
Yeah.
I had like one bowl of it and that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Isn't it mad how quick though? Like you've been, I don't like to use the word suffering. You know what I mean? Someone who's got cancer or is homeless is fucking suffering. We're just fucking hungry, right? But you've been hungry for that long and you felt terrible. And like all you're wanting is just this meal. You have it and it's gone.
Yeah.
The feeling's gone completely.
Even like the tiredness, like the fatigue. And I guess, and when you were saying as well, like the mental fatigue of it as well, like having to think, "I've got that to do, this to do, this to do." It's like that switch off and you can finally fucking just sleep. You eat, "Oh, I'm fucked, I'm going to sleep." Like your whole body just kind of like stops and shuts down. And then you get to a point where you're just like, "Wow, was that?" I always say about it must be like pregnancy, because people have multiple kids. And they go, never doing that again. I fucking hated it. And they forget. Prep's the same. Prep's exactly the fucking same. You're like, "I'm never doing this again."
You feel a bit shit when you're eating, then you're like, "Oh, I need to diet again." And you forget.
I'm the same now, bro. I'm like, should I start prep again? Should I? Well, yeah, fuck it. Let's start again. Just because.
And then obviously people around you, you look at them on prep and you're like, "Oh, I want to feel that way." It just doesn't last long, does it?
Oh, it doesn't. You probably. The thing for me is with my last showing, if we had this conversation when we went out for food, if I'd have truly presented the physique I was happy with and then got beat, that's fair dues. Like, it is what it is. But I've still got an unfinished business with myself to be able to present the physique that I want to present and know that I can.
So after this conversation, I spoke to someone else. I can't remember who it was, to be honest. And I mentioned about what you said and where I lie, where You know, I took 7th in Portugal with the best possible physique I could have took. So I was happy, completely happy with the placing, completely happy with the body, great. And then I thought back and I thought, every single time I've competed, I mean, every single time since day one has been an improvement, right?
Yeah.
I've never actually stepped on stage once where I've either not been improved or not been happy with the look.
Mm.
I don't actually know how that feels.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like it's one of them things where you're just like, because if you get beat fair and square and
Yeah,
you're the best you could have possibly been and you was at 100%, you're like, it is what it is. But
yeah,
then it's that ifs and buts and maybes and if onlys. You look back at you'll do it anyway. You look back at pictures and you think, oh, if I was like 100%, could I beat him? Should I beat him? Where would I be? What would I place? And it's like that eats away at me. So I'm like, you know what? And then to wait, I think like to wait another whole 12 months to do that again when I'm already at the weight cap. It's kind of like,
tough.
yeah, it's like there's no point in you're not gonna. I'm gonna be in no man's land for 12 months, being like, we'll just improve, and it's like, well, you can't fucking all out improve.
No,
And so I just think to myself, like, bring a true representation of what my physique looks like peeled. Then I know my actual true weight on stage. It might be fucking £5 light. It possibly will be £5 lighter than it was, which gives
yeah,
me £5 in that 6 months then to put it on,
yeah.
which is fucking great. But
That's
yeah,
where. So my issue over the years, if I lost or never won, if you never won, you've lost, same shit. Is always a size somewhere, whatever it may, wherever the size may have been at the time. When I'm always happy, I'm like, okay, so they said everything's perfect, your condition, presentation, everything, just need to be bigger in this area. I know at the time, I'm like, I can't do anything about that right now. So I may as well just carry on as I am, stay peeled, stay in shape, go to the next show. I might look bigger in the next lineup because people who aren't as big might turn up or whatever.
yeah.
If I want to be bigger, that's next year. So
That's yeah. When they say that was always kind of the thing. Like when you need more muscle, you can go away and work on that. Like you need time for that. You can't change that in a few. But condition is what we're in control of right now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like if you need to be more conditioned and you need to be better and more peeled and to be on this level with these guys, you can do that in another 10 weeks. Can't add
yeah,
10,000
I feel
muscle.
like if I'd have got on stage and not been my best because the peak went wrong or I wasn't quite as lean as I know I could be, I'd probably be like, fuck, I'm going again.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It's like like I say, unfinished business, and it's not because I'm like I want to feel like I need to prove it to anybody else. Couldn't really give a flying fuck about it.
Yourself,
Myself,
know
100%.
what you're capable of.
Yeah, 100% myself. Like so, we'll see.
I need to rewind a minute, go back to fucking, you know, when you said after a show, like you had all the stuff wrote down you can read. As you know, and anyone who's looking at competing now or first timers or in your first or second year or something, don't make the mistakes that we've made. And we've been competing, what, 10 years? Something?
Yeah, a bit longer maybe.
I would eat everything in sight. I'd eat all the things that I think I'd want. I'd eat fucking pizza. I'd drink fucking 4 pint of milk.
Hey, I used to do that, honestly, right? I didn't even used to drink the full pint of milk, but I had a thing where every day I'd go into the fridge to get something out of the fridge and there'd be milk sat there. And
Yeah.
I thought to myself, the minute I finish prep, I'm grabbing that fucking milk and I'm having some. And I'm like, oh, I can have some fucking milk. I think that's what it is when you finish your first ever prep.
And all you do is absolutely fucking smash your digestion to bits.
Smash your digestion, smash it, you fuck your off season up. Yeah. So touching on that, like if you could go back to how old was you when you started? You was a little bit older, weren't you, when you started?
Started competing?
Yeah, yeah.
I think I might have been 23 or something like that. Yeah.
So like if you go back to like when you just before you start competing, what would you do differently? Like how would you train differently? Would your diet be different? Would your gear be different?
Well, see, my background, I was playing fucking semi-pro football.
Yeah, same.
And then when it all come to an end,
who did you play for?
The Blackburn Rovers.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I was sick.
Then when it came to an end for not being strong enough,
that's
when I started in the gym. Yeah. And then I started boxing because I felt like I needed that athlete side still. And then I realised soon that I didn't like getting punched in the fucking face. Don't know why people do, but whatever. So then I was this 9.5 stone fucking kid lifting weights, thinking, what the fuck do I do myself now?
Mm.
And I literally looked around and I thought, well, I've got this fucking six pack here, me, and I look quite lean and stuff like. And there's loads of people in the gym here that don't look like me. I might give this a go. Not, just naivety because you've got a six pack. I'm 9.5 stone. Everyone 9.5 stone's probably got a fucking six. Yeah. So the mistake I made was to compete like that, and then compete every fucking year,
Right.
rather than doing a solid off season of really, really eating.
Mm.
So I'd only improve very slightly every year.
Do you
And it
like?
was,
I'm the same. I always say to lads, like, could you imagine if you went back? Say I started when I was 18. So could you imagine if you went from 18 to 21 or 22,
eating.
and just growing? But like now we know, obviously, putting certain. So how I always set it up to young lads now is I'm like, right, you've got 20 weeks to push. You've got like a 10-week diet to tidy it up, and then a 20-week push. And you can have 2 weeks where you just fucking whatever. Do you know what I mean? Christmas off, this off, deloads, or whatever you want to do. So really, that's how we're going to map it out. So you're literally going to go 20 weeks pushing up, pound a week, half a pound a week, whatever it is.
Well, which is everyone listening, right? That's enough.
Yeah, even newbies is like that's enough. Yeah. And then that 10, I'm personally, I would like that 10 weeks to then almost recalibrate the brain, because like you're pushing up for so long, it's like it's a new like novel. Oh, I'm dieting, so the things just become a little bit more like they become conscious of things a little bit more. Routine gets nailed in. Like diet, still decent diet, but they're nailing everything like water intake, sodium intake, all the little things they start to forget when it's like 20 weeks. When it's like I'm dieting for my holiday or whatever it is because it's summer. Because I always like to use that as like it's always summer now. Let's just quickly do a quick diet, get yourself tidied up, and then push again. That's if I'd have had that protocol for from 18 to 21, that I'd have been a pro by the time I was 20 fucking 2.
Yeah, same as well, because you'd have actually made at that age as well, the progress would have been fucking insane.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I mean, and I absolutely fluffed it, and I'm sure you did, and I know we're going to get onto the steroids, like, but I first started steroids when I'm going to say 18. I might have been 17, but I think it was 18.
I was 18, 17.
I had no idea what I was doing, so I played all my cards too soon.
Same.
I smashed that side of it, but didn't smash the nutrition or the training side.
Okay.
And then when it comes to actually being like, oh, I've got the training nutrition dialed down now, you've already fucking wasted the gear side.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well. Like
that would have been the big like decider at the time. Like you'd have got so much progress out of that.
I think what I would say to people is when I look at it, when you it's the whole cliche of getting the most out of the least, but
literally,
like anything else, right? If you're going to start off on a bench and you're 60 kilo, fucking fly. Why the fuck wouldn't you go then? I'm going to go 100 kilo, because if I do 100 kilo now, or say, like, use another example, right? I'm going to do 10 reps. Yeah, that's going to build my muscle. If I do 100 reps or 1,000 reps today, it's not going to build any more muscle. It takes time. So if you actually just literally methodically go 200 mega test and rinse that till it stalls, and then a little bit more, and rinse the nutrition and the training side of things, you're gonna like. I love it now when a young guy comes to me who's 18, and I'm like, right, we don't even start on gear, because like initially what I would do with someone is like, I'm like, let's get blood work, see where everything's at. Let's see where your testosterone's at. Let's see where your fucking estrogen's at. Let's just see where your panel health is. And normally they're off the fucking chart anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's ride that out. Let's utilize that. There's no point putting fucking gear in if you've got that testosterone levels already.
It's not even actually going to do shit.
No, it's not. There's no point. But I think a lot of things is they'll see the end result like yourself or me or like fucking, let's use Bumstead as an example. And it's like, well, yeah, but he's fucking huge. And it's like, and he's on gear. Yeah, but you have not seen the work that's fucking got into this for 10 years. You've just seen the end result. So people will always ask you or ask me, like, what's your cycle? It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant what my cycle is, because it's not going to be the same for you, because we're way ahead, we're way more advanced, and you're not going to need what we need to grow.
It's the same as you can take that to nutrition, right? And go, look how much gear you take now. It's had to have been built up over years to be able to hit something, right? But they're happy to, because it's easy to inject or take tablets. They'd happily go, well, I'll just take loads of that. So imagine me saying now, right? Well, how much food do you eat? Right, you eat what 2,000 calories, and you're gaining weight on that because you're young and you're 18, you're small or whatever. All right. Well, if you're going to put a load of gear in tomorrow, right? Come up to the food that I'm on as well, and have 7,000 calories tomorrow, and do that every day.
But back in the day, bro, like the guys who was helping me in the gym bros, they were doing that. They were like 2 mil of sus, 2 mil of deca, 50 meg of D-ball. This was the cycle, like my first cycle. 50 meg of D-ball, and then literally trying to get me to do like, I was doing it because I just fucking listened, and I got fat as fuck. I was doing double cream, like shakes, ice cream, like before bed with fucking protein in. Like, I'm not naming names, but you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's like, eat as much as you can. You can't get fat. You just plow the food in. You're only young. And I'm like, when I look at that, I'm like, there's fucking over a gram of gear.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
Cycle. And then I ran my first cycle for competing as a cycle I'd run now.
So what's funny with you saying that, it must have been a thing at the time, because I started on 30 milligram of VAR, 2 mil of sauce, 2 mil of deca.
Yeah, it was just basically the lad behind the desk was selling fucking gear, and he literally was like, I'm gonna fucking rinse these kids and make a shit. Like, that's the problem. When that's another side of it as well, is like what I would say to the younger people watching: don't get your fucking advice from a guy who's selling gear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're gonna sell you the fucking. It's from Poland. It's been made. It's pharmaceutical. It's been made in a bathtub, mate, and it's literally fucking pennies. Do you know what I mean? And they'll just sell you as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, you've got to at least use your nous and do some research, because anyone selling anything is going to tell you it's the fucking best.
Yeah. It's gonna and to take more and to sell more.
Yeah.
But that's what, like, I think as well now. There's so much value in having the experienced coaches in the game that are going to be able to help these guys. Like I always say, like, if I went back now, fuck me, I'd be an unreal bodybuilder, because there's so much knowledge. And not to say back in my day, but this is why, like, with this podcast and things like, and the information we're putting out on the circle community that we've got, and even just on Instagram, on stories, like, you can't fucking miss. Like, if you're an 18-year-old kid now, you've got everything, or even like 20 or 21 with getting into this game, you've got everything at your fingertips to fucking read, research. The thing is even as like, oh, pros lie about the amounts they take. I'm like, I really don't. Like, I don't lie about the amount I take, because I'm not telling you because I want you to be healthy. I'm telling you because I've made all the fucking mistakes. Do you know what I mean? And I went back and did it again, I'd be such a better bodybuilder by just being patient. And I think that's the main thing, isn't it?
You've got to be fucking patient, 100%. But I think, like, back in the day, people didn't even like weigh the food and shit.
No.
I mean, it was like, just have a chicken breast.
Chicken breast and a pack of this. Chicken breast and
a pack of rice.
Yeah.
On a large potato. Yeah. So you've got that much more information now that people who cry about genetics, well, they can work around it because they've got actual fucking science to go off now. To be like, you know, when people go, oh, the bodybuilders in the 90s, like, there was only a small amount of them, like the top 10 at the Olympia were fucking insane. That's because they were all like the genetic elite. Now there's people that aren't as good genetic wise, but because they've got all the other pieces they can play with, they can actually fucking outwork some of the genetic guys by using all this stuff.
I look at it all the time as like, look at Nick Walker.
Yeah.
Nick Walker everyone's like, oh, he's a freak. Yeah, but genetically he's not put together to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And then you look at like Samson. And that's the problem, like, with that, because Samson works really fucking hard as well. Yeah. So it's like, that's why Samson, I feel, will beat Nick and has beat Nick. So like, but Nick has beat so many guys he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I'm not to name fucking names, but so many guys that should be better than him and are quote unquote genetically better than him, but they can't match him for work ethic.
I think what some people need to realise sometimes is, obviously you've got the genetic elite, right? So just count them out. And then the guys that aren't genetic elite but are fucking awesome, right? You don't just look at them, because I hear this a lot, and it's just fucking lazy people go, they've got better gear. They take more gear, they've got access to better gear, or they're from America so they can get the best stuff. Absolute fucking bullshit. What they are is just better than you. They work harder, they're more consistent, and they've been consistent for a longer period of time. And that's it.
Do you know what? It's easier to make an excuse than it is to take action on yourself. Because I say this all the time with you, when you meet somebody who's not in your hometown, and they don't really know like where you started, right?
Yeah.
And they then meet you, they're like, oh my God, you smashed it, or this or that, or like they're so positive. But then when the person who meets you from your hometown, they're always, yeah, but because what it does, it amplifies their insecurities, and because they started in the same position as you.
And
So
they're not as far along as you.
yeah, and it's in whether that's down to their choices or whatever it is, they just then have to like put a negative negative fucking thing on it, spin on it, because then they feel like a little bit better about themselves. And that's where like people will come in and go, yeah, but I've had it before, like some guy said the other day, oh, he's got simple in his rear delts, so I really haven't got simple in my rear delts. Like, why the fuck would I bother? Like,
I get all the time about my shoulders, mate.
yeah,
And like, if I was going to do it, I would actually put the info out there saying they look like this because I'm putting simple in, and this is what I do.
yeah.
All go and try it, sweet.
Yeah, and this is where people don't expect you to do that, because they think, oh, you've got, like you say, they've got a secret, or they're just not telling you, or they just don't. It's all taboo, and it's like it really isn't. It's just basically hard work over time,
Yeah,
and that's they either can't do the hard work or they can't consistently. Because I always say, all you've got to do is outlast most people.
yeah,
You just got to outlast them. Like
yeah.
I look at it now and I'm like, right, I've got a 5-year plan in my head. Because people are like, oh, do you think you're gonna get to Olympia? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, really? Like I can see them like, or say when I competed and I didn't do as well as I should have done, or what people expected me to do, or whatever they want to say. It's like, yeah, but I'm just, again, I didn't do that in my first show, and I didn't do that trying to get my pro card, and I just carried on and just outworked people for longer, and that's all it is, just outlast people. And that, and
I put on a lot, me saying like consistency times by time equals results, right? Simple.
100%.
And I get them in shape in 10 weeks. Like, oh, it was amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's 10 weeks, right? Imagine 10 months.
Imagine 10 years.
Exactly. So 10 months compared to 10 weeks of that consistency, it's going to be a complete new person. And then you stack that to 10 years, and then you've got where we are.
Yeah,
It
and
took
that's
10 fucking years, mate.
I think what I absolutely love though as well with coaching is when you get somebody and they come to, like, I get it all the time, like literally today, they'll come to me and I'm like, I can already see what they're going to look like shredded, and I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
excited by it, and then I know full well when they start seeing them results, because everybody's got a diet plan, everyone's got a training plan, everyone's doing a bit of gear. But until they nail it, until they're accountable, until all the, like, I always have this argument, like, you're not paying me for a diet plan. You're paying me to make the changes and the experience, it like to the
You
experience
pay for the
I've got,
results. Yeah.
yeah, to make the changes, to make sure it works perfectly. And this is the thing, is like when they start seeing them results after 3 weeks, like you'll have it on check-ins, people are like, fuck, bro, like, I can't believe how
How
fucking
have you done that? Yeah, how have you done that? So you'll get people that'll come. I put a picture up before on my Instagram, a bloke that done in-person check-in with, and he's fucking skinless, mate, right? He's 63,
yeah,
and he's been fucking training, nutrition, gear for fucking 30, 40 years.
yeah,
Anyway, I had a look at all his bits and bobs, and I went, okay, let's change a few bits. Now he's in the fucking shape of his life, and his mind's blown.
yeah.
And
But
I'm
then
like,
give him the motivation then
he's
to
loving it. He's loving it. He wants to carry on and carry on. And I'm like, well, just hold your horses. I mean, it's mad how you've been doing something for 30, 40 years or whatever, but you've not been doing it right.
yeah. I always have this analogy with people. I say, if I said to you, you come to my house and clean my kitchen every day for an hour, you say, yeah, of course. How much am I get paid? I said, nothing. I'm like, why the fuck are you going to do it then? You're not. Like, why would you go to the gym every single day? Like, I know people enjoy the gym, but like, say you're a results driven person and people are going for results, like as much as they like the gym, like they still want to go there for results. And it's like, why would you go every single day for the last 5-6 years and you haven't got changed? You haven't, like, I just wouldn't do it. Or what I would do is be like, right, I need to really seek doing the same thing over and over again. It's just stupid when you're not getting any results.
Well,
It's like,
that's the definition of insanity, mate. Doing the
yeah,
same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And people go, no, I go to the gym for, mental health reasons. No. You go to the gym, you see positive results, then that affects you positively mentally,
yeah, and then
right?
you feel better about yourself.
Yeah. And then you spiral.
And I think as well, it's like you reconfirm to yourself that you can do stuff, like in the sense of like it's a confirmation that you say, right, it's the whole make your bed in the morning analogy. It's like, right, if you make your bed in the morning, you've already won the day in a sense, like you've reconfirmed to yourself, like, I'm efficient, I'm getting shit done. Same with the gym. It's like you go, you do your cardio, you feel good, you're like, I've got that done, I've won the day already.
Back to the non-negotiables. I get up, I do my cardio, I do my stretching, I do my abs, I do my breath work, and I prepare all my meals for the day. What the fuck's going to get in the way and stop me now from being off plan?
Yeah.
I've already done my cardio, I've already done my fucking abs, I've already done my stretching, I've already done my meals. What can stop me now?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All I've got to do is make sure that I train, right? And it takes, what, an hour?
Yeah. And that's the most enjoyable bit.
Yeah, and you enjoy
You
that.
say, like, I'm looking, like, say, for example, now, right? Let's just hypothetically speak about, say, my cycle. Like, say, right, we've got like testosterone and everything in there, we've got masteron in there, we've got metformin, we've got testosterone, we've got like all like the ABR side of things, we've got proviron in there. Just say that, right? As a newbie, what do you feel? Do you think you should tap into every sort of aspect that you've got in a cycle? Because I get a lot of guys being like, "Oh, is metformin like, or insulin, or like GH?" What do you think, like, as a young, like, aspiring bodybuilder or coming through? What do you think, like?
Honestly, for me, the very first thing is your base is your testosterone. Yeah. And as we said before, get as much as you can at a little as possible. 99% of those people are going to elicit a response off maybe 250 to 350 milligram of test, right? And because you then tap into the nutrition and the training, mate, that's game on for 9 months, 12 months, easy.
Easily, yeah.
Without adding anything else in whatsoever.
I think I ran this with one of the guys, which was a really good concept. And what we did, we basically was like, okay, let's just put in, say, 250 milligrams of testosterone, 200 milligrams, sorry, of testosterone. And I ran that for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, let's get a testosterone test. Like, let's get a test done, blood test, 30 quid. See where your test is at off that. See where your estrogen is off that and how you convert that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we can now work out exactly, like, obviously, people hours a ball late, but I'm like, imagine starting fresh. And you're like, now you can work out exactly where your that testosterone puts you. And then it's like, okay, well, all we need to do now is add 50 milligrams of testosterone eventually when we store.
You can work out specifically what your body needs.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're going back to it, like, because obviously most people who come to us, it's quite difficult to find the threshold of testosterone because they're like, well, I've run 500, I've run 700, I've run 300. And it's like, okay, but when you're first starting out, it's fucking incredible because it's like, well, okay, I get fucking mad. I'm like, wow, okay, this is what we can do. And even down to, I do that with some guys as well to find out where the threshold of testosterone is to conversion rather than being like, right, let's do 700 or 500. And then I'm like, fuck, right, now we need to put in 8x, or now we need to use this to bring this down. I'm like, right, let's just put in, and we're starting out afresh, let's just put in 300 and see where that takes us in 4 weeks. I know some people obviously who compete in and comp wise, but if they're looking at this, well,
a little bit different if you compete in.
Yeah, you do what the necessary, but in a sense, like, when someone comes to me and they're like, right, I've got a whole 12 months to change my fucking whole physique, and I've never really used anabolics, or I've used them before, but I've dabbled and I've not really done anything. I'm like, right, game on. And they make such improvements, and like mine, but that's where people see my transformation, like, that's not even real. And I'm like, no, trust me, everything's done perfectly.
So I think a lot of people as well is like they convert estrogen or whatever, but because the fucking injections aren't frequent enough.
Yeah, like I get a lot of people about
doing 2 mil testy, like when on a Monday. I'm like, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen, mate? Spike and then come right down and crash and then spike and then you get acne, you know, and then you get mood swings. And then
I get a lot of messages about, because I microdose, and people don't really understand what microdosing is. What I mean by microdosing is I take all my gear for the week.
Yeah.
Right. So say, for example, I'm on 2 mil of test, I'm on 2 mil of mast, say 2 mil of primo a week. Yeah. So then I'll take all that gear and I'll fucking literally divide it into each day, how much that'll be per mil. And I literally take that amount every single day with an insulin pin. So I literally just backload an insulin pin, put anywhere that I fucking want, anywhere, because it's literally a tiny little pin. Yeah. People have this weird thing, and I used to have it when I was like younger. They're like, oh, you'll get an abscess. And I'm like, they do testosterone subcutaneously in America. It's like if you're using something water-based, like you're gonna get an abscess, yeah, most likely. But if you're doing a small amount, like 2 IU or 3 IU per injection,
it's been proven as well, mate. It's been proven over years now.
And honestly, the blood levels just stay so much more stable. And everybody's always like, oh, send me how you do microdosing. That's how you fucking do it. It's so simple.
So I don't microdose as such. I just split it evenly into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and depending if I'm taking how much I'm taking, maybe Saturday as well. So I'm only really having one day in between, if any, when I don't inject.
Yeah. That's
And then I have zero. I get way better fucking progress, and I get zero side effects.
Yeah, because your blood levels and your blood serums level, it's not all up and down. Fucking.
It's common sense, though, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
When you've actually triggered it and thought about it, you're like, yeah, that actually makes a lot of fucking sense.
yeah, but I think because it's injections and which is understandable. People are, I don't want to do it every day. Fuck it, I can do it once a week. I'm done. Like half them told the bird, half of them are doing it in the gym fucking locker. So it's like that's another thing that I would say.
Like they're talking about injections, and that's the problem. But like, if I was to say to you now, right, so you have a coffee every morning, right? Because it gets you going for the day. Why don't you just have 7 coffees on Monday, and then you'll be all right till next Monday?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It
How's
doesn't
that
work.
good? Yeah. Eat all your food on Monday, and then you'll be all right till next Monday.
The other thing I would say as well, I tend to tell people all the time, like, fucking stop just doing oral cycles. You know, like the first time, if I went back and it was like, right, I'm just going to do a bit of D-ball because I don't have to jab then. And I know it's convenient, I know it's easy, but fucking hell, man, if you're gonna get into this realm of bodybuilding, it's not the hard, and you're gonna be prepping eventually. It's not fucking the injection.
I always say to me, yeah, if you want to do that, fine, right? But let's just look at it's more toxic, it's going to fucking cost you more money, and it's less effective.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Yeah. I'll have 50 D-ball.
Yes, not D-ball. All right,
yeah, fucking twat. Oxys. Just get on the oxys. That's another thing as well. I think a lot of people are looking at secrets of, and I've done it. I did it in the past. I was like, insulin. I think insulin's got to be the secret. Growth hormone's got to be the secret. This has got to be the secret.
Yeah.
What you don't realize is none of it. Everything has its place.
It's all bits of icing on the cake.
And it's all percentages. I find it's all little percentages. So it's like, yes, growth hormone works perfectly. Yes, if insulin's used in the right way, it works perfectly. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to decorate an house before you've even built it. Yeah. So you're trying to say, you know what, I really want these grey window frames, but there's no house. So it's like you've actually got all the foundations in place, the food, the training, even down to like your rest and your recovery, your routine, your anabolics. You haven't got any of them in place, or you've got some of them but half-arsed. And then you're like, you know what, that's not working. Which it works for everybody else, but it's not working for me. It must be this secret thing, the insulin that people are putting in to make a massive. And it's like, no, what you don't realize is we've got all this shit perfect, and then now we need insulin to manage glucose because we're eating so much. Do you know what I mean?
And then I'd say 9 out of 10 people, they bang a load of insulin in so they can eat more food. When in reality, your body should be dictating that you need more food, and then you use the insulin to accommodate.
Well, this is what people don't realize is I didn't, and I'll be honest, when I first ever started, I just thought, oh, you do like 10 hours of insulin pre-workout, 10 hours of insulin post-workout, and then put your carbs to that. And it's like, no, you get to, what it is you get to a certain point where, like you just said, you're having 200 grams of carbs post-workout, and your body is not going to be able to partition that, and it's not going to be able to deal with that. So we have to override our own body's mechanism and be like, okay, we'll do synthetic insulin, and that'll allow us to eat this amount of food.
But then because you're doing 200 grams of carbs, doesn't then mean, right, I'll do 20 IU of insulin?
Oh, you do, you know what I mean? You might do 5 or 3 or whatever it is.
See if that helps. And because if used correctly, you'll get fucking leaner.
Yeah, because you're what it is, you're going to partition the nutrients shuttled into the muscle, which is just going to be able to grow more muscle.
So when people go, fucking hell, mate, I absolutely blew up off insulin. No, you blew up off fucking eating too many carbs, mate.
Yeah, because what they'll do, they go, you know what, I'm going to get fucking massive. Yeah. And what I find as well is there'll be a state where it's like they've done. I'll be honest, I've done this myself when I was a kid. It was like I've not done what I quite should have done, and I've not put the size on I should have done because I've been fucking about. And now I've only got a short period of time, and I want to get massive. So let's throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. And what it is, we were talking about the other day, where there has to, for every fucking action, there's got to be a reaction, there's got to be a rebound, a recoil effect. So the thing is like you hammer something one way, you're going to get negative side effects.
Yeah.
Your digestion is going to go fucked. Your sleep's going to go fucked. You can't 100 miles an hour on one way and not expect any repercussions from it.
I see it. I see it a lot, man. I see people. I think, say Dr. Tony Huge, for example. I'm going to the buffet for breakfast, so I'm going to bang insulin and growth in. No, you shouldn't be doing that because you're going to a buffet for breakfast. Like every time we go for a cheat meal, do we go, like, let's slam a load of insulin in before we go? No.
Right.
And then, very recently, a friend of mine, he went to Dubai. Anyway, he's out there, snapped his quad. He ruptured his patella tendon and his quad tendon. His kneecap went round the fucking back of his leg. I was only when I sat down with him, I said, how has that happened? He said, I just slipped round the pool. I went, yeah, but it's not like you're that heavy. He went, well, I was doing like 5 or 6 diuretics before I went, like every day. So these people, yeah, just to be dry for being around the pool.
It's crazy. And to be honest, like I've had lads before who were going to Ibiza and so on, and what they don't realise is they're just going to get drier anyway, being off their fucking head. But it's a concoction of like, I'm going to take loads of anabolics and then loads of diuretics and then loads of class A's.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, fucking hell, you're asking for an heart attack.
It's fucking nuts, mate.
It's absolute male. But like you say, the thing is everything is a tool and it's all there to be used, but if it's got to be used in the right manner at the right time when it's necessary. Not like the Atlantis is like a big fucking thing now, in it, basal insulin. It's huge and everyone's talking about it. But what people are doing is like, you know what? Oh, so you say you're on 500-600 grams of carbs, you need 20 IUs of Lantus. And it's like, well, no, you don't, because what you do is you take your blood glucose, see what you wake up at, your blood glucose will dictate how much fucking insulin you need and if you actually need it. Some people might be fucking right as rain on 600 grams of carbs a day and be partitioning perfectly. But the other thing is they might be on 400 and bump themselves up to 600 just to put Atlantis in.
Yeah, no, it just makes no sense.
Doesn't make no fucking sense. So, like, I get a lot of them questions all the time about certain things as well. Just because I think, like you say, I think it's the secret. It's the same with.
I've done it where I've had my test as high as like 750 in an off season. I've been like, oh, I'm maxed out here. I can't put any weight on, size on, but fuck it, I'm taking my test to a gram. That's the only thing I can do. I'm gonna grow from this. I took it to a gram and my fucking life went to shit.
Yeah, mate.
No motivation. I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to train. I
had exactly the same thing, didn't I? Post prep, I was like, I'm gonna do a rebound.
Oh yeah.
You come off a show and you're like, you know what? Fuck this. Right, I need to win. I'm done shit. I need to be better. I've got to level up. And your motivation's dead high and you're fucking through the roof. Started a rebound and it was just everything in the kitchen sink, mate. And I'll be honest, I lasted 4 days. 4 days on it. And it was just, I thought, you know what? Like, if this what it takes or what I feel after, when I'm dieting, I don't mind feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And when I've finished dieting, I don't want to be falling asleep every 2 minutes. I don't want to train. I can't sleep at night.
We'll have to talk about this in detail sometime. We'll probably put some questions on Instagram and shit as well. But to me, off season's fucking way worse than dieting. Right? Yeah. Even when you're in that dog stage of prep where your fucking head doesn't work and you're exhausted, I still feel better than I do in off season. Because in off season, I just feel fucking lazy.
How do you feel in the off season when you get big?
Extremely tired.
Yeah.
Don't sleep at all because you're snoring. Yeah, you've got sleep apnea. You're stopping fucking breathing in your sleep. That drags on. Your motivation's fucking gone. Discipline's still there. I'll still make sure I eat every fucking meal, but I'm disciplined to eat. I ain't disciplined to fucking go and do other shit, mate.
No.
Like day-to-day tasks. I probably sleep 4 or 5 naps a day in off season.
Yeah.
Anywhere I can. We get to shopping. I'm like, you go in, love. I'm just gonna get my head down in the car for a bit. It's constant.
I'm like, it's not even I want to. I'm like, oh no. I'm pissed. I'm literally like, I'm fucking pissed. I'm like, oh, I need to fucking sleep, man. And I think there's a point where you have to do that, and then there's a point where it's like, okay, well, what do you? I have this debate all the time. Do you think you would make better progress in that sweet spot of prep, staying in that sweet, like almost sweet spot, or do you think you make better progress pushing hard?
so difficult to answer because I've never tried to stay in that sweet spot for progress, if you know what I mean, right? I'd like to say the sweet spot because everything just ticks over nicely. So why wouldn't you?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you're like, say for example, right, I'm going to go back into a prep now. Yeah, and I'm what 22 pounds over stage weight.
Yeah.
And I'm in that sweet spot. Yeah, and I'm gonna take a decent amount of drugs. My food's gonna be all right. I'm gonna do a decent amount of cardio, and I'm gonna train hard. Probably harder than like fucking ever because I'm motivated and I'm fucking. And you don't feel heavy. You don't. It's like, why would you not accumulate another 5 to 6 pound of muscle?
I believe you would, right? So, but as a bodybuilder,
Or what about when we grow in prep?
yeah, because it's possible. It's 100% possible. I've been 8 weeks out from a show and put 20 pounds on and then went and competed and fucking won. 20 pounds on, right? In off season, okay, if you're saying, oh, you're sleeping a lot, you're growing, but no, you're only napping because your blood sugar's high and you've not slept for 8 hours at night. That's the reason you're napping, not because
it's what we were saying at the start. You need to be in that REM sleep, that deep sleep, that light sleep,
which ain't happening.
which isn't happening.
And then you're definitely not training as hard because you're bloated, you're full, your motivation's low, your energy's low. So why on earth would you be making mad progress then? And clearly you're not. Digestion's not perfect, so you're not utilizing all the food that you're eating.
That's what I mean. Like, I had a kid yesterday and he was like 5,700 calories and he's grown. And I was like, Dan, we just need to diet. And he's like, what? And I'm like, if we pull this back to 4,500, like fucking 4,700, 1,000 calories less, put some cardio in, like give you this new fucking like carrot to go at, like you're still going to progress and you're still going to grow. Because at 4,700 calories, you're going to be able to always eat them, always digest it, train harder. And it's kind of like, I think you get in that mindset. It's like more and more as a bodybuilder, like more. I need more food. We need more gear. I mean, more like, and it's like.
But I do think, mate, a lot of people at the top and a lot of top coaches and this, that, and the other, like they would say, no, push through. Do you know what I mean? I don't think many of them say, right, let's pull back and then let's go again.
But then when you look at like, but that's the thing. When you look at say the kids, he's fucking. I can tell from his check-ins, he's not motivated to train. Everything's gone to shit. He can't be asked. He just feels like shit. And I'm like, surely there is a period of time in off season where you're going to feel like tired. But if you're feeling like absolute shit and not wanting to train, it's like, are you actually going to make as much progress?
What's happened? What I've done in the past in them situations sometimes is come off gear. And then appetite's improved, sleep's improved. I'm like, I must have just been fucking inflamed. Yeah. And got that sorted and then gone again.
That level of toxicity.
Yeah. Rather than actually pulling the food back at all. Because at the end of the day, in that situation there, the food's the driving factor that you're going to keep your muscle and going to grow and shit. Not the gear at that point.
But if you was to pull, say, gear back and come off gear, but kept your food that high, do you not think you would lose a certain amount of conditioning?
Average person, yes.
You're in normally, yeah.
Me,
that you stay lean all the time, don't you?
I get a bit leaner because basically a bit of that fucking water retention comes off and I look leaner for it.
Yeah, because like you were saying to me, you struggle to push up past like 20 pounds, isn't it?
In my off season, I get the most I've put on ever in an off season is up to probably 27 to 30 pound.
Yeah.
Ever. I'm fucking pushing to get there.
What's the highest your food's ever been?
About 7,000 on just under 7,000 cleanish. When I say cleanish, there might be Rice Krispie square bars and shit in at that point. But then I was even on fucking 3 cheat meals a week at that point. So when I say 7,000, them 3 days, it's fucking cranked right up in it, maybe 9,000.
Really on top of.
Yeah.
Do you do high protein?
No.
Lower protein.
I do moderate. I do about 40 to 45 per meal, 6 meals a day.
Yeah.
It's pretty moderate, really.
Yeah, what's that look at? But 270.
Not a massive amount.
No, it's not a massive amount at all. I've just switched over to doing higher protein, but I'm just going to see how it goes.
Because I tried it once. I did try it. I was doing 60 to 70 grams per meal. And my digestion just went to shit. My body just couldn't handle it.
Right, it's too much.
Down enough. Didn't get any musclier from it. Didn't build any muscle. So I have high carbs.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, I think as well, like when you need as much food as you do, carbohydrates is gonna have to be the driving force. And
That's
fat.
got to be the driving force. That's the shit that you can change. Yeah,
100%. What's your plans now? Then you've got 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, so food's gone up. Just because I've peaked for 2 shows now, and anyone listening, look, this is me, yeah, and everyone's very fucking different. You have to spend years and years learning your body, or having a coach like one of us to help understand your body before you can make decisions like this. But so after a couple of shows on a run for me, typically my body's just in overdrive, and I'll just continue to flatten off and lose muscle. And it's game over. I can't fill back out. So we've pushed food up. And this time we've actually had to push the anabolics up as well.
Right.
And full transparency, it's on our circles, our free community. We always put everything on there. I put my sus up to 1.2 gram.
How you
Never been,
feeling on
never been that high in my life. I feel really fucking good, mate.
that?
Yeah, I'm not feeling any negatives off the cycle at all.
Right.
It's just helping me fucking retain fullness.
What you got DHB in there?
DHB is going in probably tomorrow. I've been waiting for it to arrive. That's probably going to fill me out a little bit more then. So we swap the Primo for DHB.
Right.
Again, just in a fucking slug to try and just stay nice and full.
What else you got in mass running there?
So we're on 1.2 sus, 600 mast, 300 tren, and 300 DHB. And what I can say is, I was on 0.75 tren 3 times a week. Now I'm on 1 mil tren 3 times a week. And just off that small increase of what is it? I can't work it out. How much have I gone up there?
Fuck it, what? Yeah.
0.75, I think. Fuck me, mate. As soon as I've done that, my pillow is drenched. I mean, like soaking wet. I'm sleeping for 2 hours.
I did this whole prep without trend, and I was
Yeah.
like, and then, do I regret it? I don't have many regrets, so no, it was a trial.
Yeah.
I think obviously my relationship's the best it's ever been. My business is the best it's ever been. Obviously, everything else is the best it's ever been. But was that the catalyst of like, okay, we didn't get nail condition because that wasn't in play? I think there's a trade-off with it, being 100% honest. I think there's a trade-off with it, like you say there. There's a certain tipping point where it's like you could probably get away with 0.5 mil every other day or 0.7 every other day. Then the minute you start going to 300s, 400s, I know people are fucking 500-600s. Like, I know everybody's different, but that I think is maybe the tipping point for me, where it's like, then I just get.
I've got zero negative side effects in terms of like anything mental. Yeah. But because back in the day, paranoia, anxiety, overthinking, it was shit, horrible. Now, nothing at all, mate. Super chilled, super happy, no problem. I've just got this fucking sleep issue from that little bit.
Well, you can't sleep.
Since you upped it, yeah, I sleep for 2 hours. I'm awake and I'm like, fuck me. I'm back to sleep and I'm awake, back to sleep and awake.
It's a difficult one because I think obviously we preach and everybody does preach of sleep paramount to recovery. It's paramount to obviously fucking fat loss and so on. And I do think that, but when you're at your stage of like you are already fat free,
yeah,
realistically, it's like you say, you just got to like, you're just going to suck it up and just like,
to a certain extent. But what I have done, what I've learned over the years is, if you can't have REM sleep or you can't even get sleep, don't get out of fucking bed at 3 o'clock and go and do cardio. You're jumping over a £50 note to pick up a fucking fiver.
Yeah.
Relax. Chill. Let your body just fucking relax. If the norm is to get up at 6 o'clock, just lie in that bed. Don't go on your phone. Don't overthink. Just fucking relax. Breathe and chill. You might not even get back to sleep, but it's fucking far better than getting the day started. Because if you do way too early, it's going to affect you further on in the day. And then as you move along further and further down the week, it's going to catch up with you. It's going to fuck you. And what I will say is, the last couple of shows, because I've been doing that, our sleep has been good, and then I've been relaxing as much as possible rather than getting up at dickhead o'clock and being that Oh, I eat dry tuna out of a can and get up at 2 o'clock. Fucking body looks better for it.
Yeah, you look more.
Shit, you know what I mean?
You look fresher. Your body obviously is
Yeah,
gonna still
yeah.
look recovered. It's not gonna look withered. Have you got orals in there or not?
No, they're all out now.
How did you find? If you don't mind saying, where did you take your orals up to? 50-50.
No,
Anabolic.
quite high really. So we went 50 VAR.
Mm,
In the end, pushed up to 100 Winnie.
mm,
But only this is only for a short stint, right?
yeah.
Because, like I said, in between shows, my body runs away with itself, and the fucking orals have to go up to stop fucking losing fullness.
Yeah.
So we did Winnie at 100, VAR at 50, and then we put Superdrol in and pushed that up to 40.
How did you find the super roll?
It was fucking really good, to be fair, mate.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it
yeah,
was, I thought it was like, did you use Halo as well?
not with Superdrol.
Yeah,
Swapped the Halo for Superdrol.
yeah, I did the same thing, and I think I prefer the super roll.
I prefer the Superdrol.
But you have to be peeled.
Yo, you got to be fat free, mate. You've got to
Yeah,
be fat free.
what
But
super
what it
roll?
allowed me to do, I think I come and train with you, push one it, and I'd like, I don't know, 70s dumbbells,
Oh,
something
you
like
were
that.
strong as fuck, mate.
I
You
think
just
they were flying, mate. Like, no problem at all.
I was picking shit up, and I was like, for fuck's sake. That's what I was like. I was about back on prep. I'm fucking on prep. I'm strong when I prep. But yeah, that's definitely like I think for me, you have to be at that point. Like you say, I think it's very good in between shows. I think
Yeah,
you
that's all it's for, mate. Don't go banging loads of Superdrol or fucking shit in an off season,
just be your
or
head
even
will be fucking huge, and you just be
or
fucking
Anadrol, and you can't eat, and it's just pointless.
yeah. That's another thing in it with people like they just smash the fucking digestion with that. What have you done with GH 2, 2, and 2?
2, 2, and 2 for GH.
Yeah,
So the last show, the Portugal one, again, going back to me specifically, trying to keep full. Did the show in London, all injectables out a week before, all the orals stay in, pull the GH, pull the bit of slim that I was doing just on a leg day, and then obviously dry out, do the show, boom, flat. Yeah. Quite deceiving because I've got round muscle belly. So, oh yeah, you look full. No, it wasn't full. So then going into Portugal, it was like, you know what, fuck it. You know, you have no condition, you have no issue with condition ever. You have no issue with you getting fat free. So just can keep the GH in and keep the insulin in. So that's what we did.
kept it all in. At two, I use morning. What was it? Morning training and
Morning, post workout, pre bed,
mm,
and insulin. I just did 20 IU Atlantis the day before the show with a massive carb up.
yeah, just high carbs. What did you go up to carb wise? You went really hard, didn't you?
Fucking hell, mate. We didn't even, it was like probably 1200 Thursday and more like 1500 on a Friday. It went quite high, yeah.
This is the thing as well.
Typically, working it all out, we just, rough.
Yeah, you keep going meal by meal, and it.
Yeah.
I think that's what people don't understand as well. You have to be fat free for this to work.
Not
You
to
can't you can't be like, you know what, I'm near there or thereabouts. It's like you have to be peeled.
But even I was worried the first time ever, the day before, I'm eating that much that I'm like, I am not hungry. And I was speaking to Jamie, going, bro, I don't even want to eat. My belly's sore. And he's like, look, you're just gonna have to push. We've never done it before. We'll never know unless we do it. Just fucking push the food in. Still on burger and chips the night before bed and shit. Thinking, fuck me, this is dangerous. I'm gonna spill. On the day of the show, it's still fucking 300 grams of rice per meal. Just quite hefty, plus a banana or some jam or something in every meal. But then, once I spaced it out for 3 hours, I'm like, shit, I'm full, I'm dry, I'm lean, it's fucking game on. And I'm backstage, I can get a pump.
Yeah, mate. That's
The first time ever in the whole time bodybuilding, I stepped out on stage, I hit my first pose, and I'm like, wow, I can feel my legs.
yeah, you can feel everything. Yeah, like
Feel all the fibers. I can never feel them on stage ever.
right, you just fucking literally. It's weird as well because I was backstage at the Spain show.
Yeah.
And you know Dan, is it Dan Bassett?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Bassett comes to me and he's like, oh, bro, you look really good. You look really well. Like,
quite a big, thick lad.
yeah, he's huge. Yeah, he's misses one physique. She's going to Olympia.
Yeah.
Really, you lent me some fucking peanut butter, so shout out to Dan.
Nah, I like you so much to give him back.
Yeah, mate, honestly, Taste it good. Anyway, fucking give me some peanut butter, and I was like, sweet, because we fucking ran out. Anyway, he was like, yeah, you look really well, mate. You look nice and full. And I was like, shit, because I was like, full. When I say you look nice and full to someone, just means you look big, and you're not like if you're peeled, someone will be like, you're peeled. But he's like, yeah, you look really nice and full. And I was like,
oh shit.
Shit, like I'll fucking this is not played out.
So
So
I was told, I spoke to someone, and he was like, look, the worst thing, your issue is you're such a nice person, you want to talk to everyone, right? So you'll get backstage, and you have a perception of yourself and a perception of other people, and it's always that other people are better than you. So then you go and speak to a bodybuilder, and you think, fuck me, this guy's peeled. And then you get chatting, and you say to them, I don't feel that lean, because you've just seen them. They then say to you, I know I don't feel lean enough. And then you think, shit, if you don't feel lean, I fucked it. And you just destroy your own mindset backstage just by being nice and speaking to people.
This is the biggest thing that I was speaking to you about. Like I've learned now, people, it's gonna sound stupid, but when you step into the pro leagues, I've always heard that, like, oh, welcome to the pro leagues, and you step into pro leagues, it's fucking no different. It's just another show. It's not another show.
Yeah.
Like everyone backstage, and most people, pretty much everyone's got an entourage. So they've got the trainer, they've got the missus, they've got the fucking like training part. They've got an entourage to just look after what they need to do, pump them up, or like someone's handing them, and then nobody speaks because it's foreign as well. So
the international shows, I've done them as well.
Also, realistically, like everybody's there to win. We're all trying to get to Olympia. Like no one's there to be nice. No one wants to be a friend. No one wants to be a friend. It's like the atmosphere is very, very much like, oh shit, like we're here to fucking battle it out. And my pro debut, I wasn't like that. I was fucking, because in all honesty, mate, like I'm just a nice guy who just gets on with people. I just like having a laugh. But on the other side of it, deep down, I knew I'm always going to be the favorite. Like when I was amateur, I was always the favorite to win. So I was always like, I'm gonna be nice to everyone because I'm probably going to fucking win anyway. So I may as well be nice. And it's like, so because that was always like my sort of confidence. I knew I was going to go in winning shows. So going to this one, I hope
someone's nice to me.
I was being nice to him. I was like, all right, mate. And it's just like, and literally to the point where when you're drying for tan, they would step in front of you for the fan, like, mate, get the fuck out of the way. You're like, wow, it's like that, is it? Okay.
I've learned that from even just amateur international shows. So, you're there backstage or tanning, and like people just don't give a fuck, barging in front of you, no problem. And you look at someone that's good or whatever, they'll stare at you. You stare at each other. You literally look at each other in the fucking eyes, and you think, is he going to nod? Yeah. And he's probably thinking, is he going to nod? Then you just look away. And then after the show, you lock eyes with that same person, and there's a big smile, hands are out, fists are out, like,
but
respect.
I think what it is as well, it might be one because of the foreigners and it's just different, but two, it's because everybody at that level, like you say, so the guy who was winning our shows is 46. He's been bodybuilding since fucking 20 odd years. Do you know what I mean? He's been competing for years. He knows the game in and out. And I remember watching listening and being at a Tom Platz seminar, and he would say like Dorian would have his own room. And Dorian, like they would literally play mind games with each other, like wouldn't let somebody see him, and it's like, and I never used to get it. I thought it's fucking bullshit. But when you get to these sort of higher level of competition, and there's a lot more external pressure, and there's a lot more eyes on you, and there's a lot more sort of exposure and more on the line, it definitely does, mate. Like you've definitely got to get this mindset where
it is a bit better, really, because sometimes, like, if I took to this Portugal show and people are outside in the fucking trunks taking pictures and stuff, and I'm like, and then you're all tanning together, so you all see each other fucking other's bodies anyway, and I'm like, it takes the fucking the wow factor out of it. Like, wouldn't it be cool to just be like, no one's really seen each other, and then you just stood behind the fucking curtain?
Would you like to do a prep and not put anything on Instagram?
No.
So like I said to my missus about Bob, Bob Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Is it Waterhouse? And I hadn't really seen anything of him, really.
He just turned up on stage and like, oh.
And he turned up and he was the talk of the town. He was fucking the talk of the fucking show for being fucking.
It is cool. It does have an impact because I remember Rob Taylor did it one year where he come off socials, and so you'll see him at £250, and that's what you see loads of content. So you just all you keep thinking about when you think of Rob is that he's massive, he's massive, he's massive, and then you come off Instagram, and then the next picture that went up was him with a sword peeled out of his head on stage, and you're like, fuck. It wouldn't have been as impactful if you'd have seen him getting peeled all along the way.
This is the thing as well. It's a catch-22 because I was saying this to Jade, like, are you so just open and honest? Like, when I prep, my insights on my Instagram, they double. So the amount of people on my Instagram like go to like fucking 150, 100, 200, whatever it is, it goes fucking well more than it should do. Like 200% more because you're prepping and everyone's nosy. But then, is it better to have that leading into the show, or is it better to do really well at a fucking show and have that after a show?
So for me, and again, full transparency, I'm genuinely fucking passionate about helping people, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's why I've got like the men's hub as well. Now, if I was to just switch off from the world, I don't think I'd enjoy the fucking prep, because not just the fact that more people engage with me, but because they do, I'm getting messages saying, fuck me, Kieran, I just took that tip of you taking them scales out. I started doing it and I've lost fucking 2 stone. I feel amazing. I'm like, great, that's what I'm doing.
Even before I put out for the coaching opportunity or the coaching job, like you would message me saying, bro, you look fucking sick, like keep smashing it. And like that sort of like camaraderie as such, it's like I say, it's like a catch-22 because you're getting an amazing feedback and people are motivating people and people are like, wow, fuck me, like the guys are just normal guys and they're doing it. But then you've also got then, for me as well, like, it happens to me, like the pressure of expectation, because everybody's seen how great you look on your own. They expect you to be a world beater because they don't understand the levels.
So I've got to a point where I'm like, right, I don't feel pressure, because when I put these pictures on Instagram, right, I put pictures on where I think I look my best. Then there'll be loads of tag pictures or pictures where I don't think I look my best. There'll be videos from every angle where I might look skinny or soft. But at the end of the day, I look how I look, right? And if I go to a show and I come fucking 7th, I come 7th in the same body that last week you told me looked fucking insane. It doesn't look no different, mate. It's just that another 6 people were better.
Yeah, and I think what it is with social media is because we're all our own superstar on our social media. They don't like, and people don't realize. Like I always use the analogy now when I try to explain people in the gym. They go, "Oh, did you win?" And I'm like, "No." What? Like fucking hell? How did you not win? I thought you was like in reality. I thought you was good. And I'm like, right, an F1 driver gets into his fucking car, gets into the F1. He ain't gonna beat Hamilton. He ain't gonna beat the top guys. He's going to get into a car that's all right, but he's going to have to learn the ins and outs of it. He's going to be on tracks that he doesn't really fucking understand and doesn't really get until the second year. And it's like, what you have to do well, for me anyway, when I get in the pro leagues, I'm like, right, I've got to collect that data. Where the fuck do we go wrong? What needs to improve? Like, how do we address like even the travel, the logistics of it, the fucking like what we're going to do, the way we're going to do it? Are we going to travel out there early? So like you learn all these things. Even down to being backstage with a mindset sort of thing. It's like you're forever learning. So to come in and think, you know what, this guy who's winning shows at 46, who's done Olympia before and fucking loads of different, like, you're not going to come in and fucking just knock this guy out. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen.
Well, and it'd be unreasonable to expect to do so.
Yeah. But I think what people have is they get in their mind because you've always won in amateur. Or whatever, it's like, oh, well, you're not won because they don't understand the levels.
Yeah, I think someone said to me, where did you come? I said, 7th. And he went, oh, don't worry about it, mate. I went, I'm not worried. Yeah. When you'll do better next time. I went, bro, I don't think you understand.
No.
I think the other 11 people who stood next to you were the best in their representative fucking countries or whatever. Like, it's no joke. Like, you fucking step up there.
Yeah, and then you get to a point where you think, like, am I being an arsehole? But I think it is because it just you don't want to come across and say, do you actually fucking realize the level I'm at? Because obviously to us and the people who know bodybuilding get it. But the general population, like, if I was to say to you, like, who's the top 3 tennis players in the world or whatever, golfers, you'd be like, I don't fucking know. I ain't got a clue. because we're not into that. Do you know what I mean?
That's just people in general, or they watch football and they go, "Oh, that fucking right back for fucking Chelsea's shitting." He's not shit, mate. He's in the Premiership, so he's better than the right back for every single fucking team that's underneath him in the whole fucking world, mate. He's that good.
Yeah,
He's not.
It's easier in it. But I think I would love to do a prep, just fucking and turn up. Yeah,
Mate. So what we're saying, guys, anyone that's watching this is you're not going to see me and Ryan for a while now.
Yeah, you're not going to see it. You're going to see throwback pictures of me and thinking.
We've just linked up. We've just started together. We had loads of shit planned, but you know what? Fuck it. See you next year on stage.
Yeah, we'll see you on stage. We'll just stay hidden. Do a Dorian and fucking go hide. But that was another thing that I kind of I always think to myself as well. As much as Dorian is fucking phenomenal, I do feel like for him, just being as a fan, I regret that he didn't do more.
Because we're gutted now because we don't get to see it all.
No, yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing, like I'm like, you know, you said, "Oh, would you like to do a prep without being on socials and stuff?" No, because I'm fucking proud of what I do. Right, I enjoy it, and I want this for me. I want like this forever. I don't want to be able to look back on all this and think that was fucking cool at that time.
I think my whole ethos is like the process over the prize, and I do love documenting the process because my main driving force, as much people think it's not, or might think it's not, is literally to, as cliche as it sounds, inspire other people. Like, you can do this. Like, you want to be a professional bodybuilder, you want to try and travel and make from the industry. Like, you want to do that. Like, I'm fucking normal. Like, I'm just work. Like, you came to train with me, didn't you, the other week, and you was like, "This is actually mad how, like, it's just like you train in this little shitty gym and it's just mad."
Because I fucking knew you for how long, but because you've been a pro for a while now, the pro thing was in my head, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck me, yeah, nothing's changed. Just Ryan in the fucking gym. That's what it is. Same as I'm in my gym. Like, it's no different.
It's no different at all. And the thing is like that's what hopefully people can see in the sense of like I say, the young guys or anyone, and be like, you know what, I can fucking do this. You just got to take it back. You've got to have like blind faith and ridiculous optimism.
Well, I think what people need to realize, especially all the young guys now, is you've got to enjoy the journey, right? It's going to sound fucking gay or whatever, but like, am I allowed to say gay?
Maybe. G, S, Y, Z.
And anyone successful you speak to, let's just talk about a multimillionaire, right? So I go to one of my friends who's a multimillionaire, and I'm like, you must just be fucking like so happy because you made all these millions. They'll talk about the fucking journey. Like, you know what? The best point, mate, was when I had no fucking money, and I was like, I had all these bits going on. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking. Is it going to pay off? Is it not? I'm shitting myself. My fucking car just broke down. I've just paid for this. I look back at that, and I'm like, they were the fun times. Right now, money means shit. I'm a fucking multimillionaire.
I use the same analogy with the pro card thing. I don't remember the day of the show. I remember all the times.
Yes. All the times leading up to it, the sacrifices you had to make, the fucking cheap meals along the way where you got to spend time with family and friends, probably the meal after it that you enjoyed. Yeah. The times where you look back and you're like, then when I used to train in that fucking shitty gym and had that fucking shit car, but how good was that back then when it was, you know what I mean? Like you remember all that shit.
Yeah, it's like, I think we're saying about, is that Kobe Bryant saying or quote was like, the early mornings, the training, the hard work, and like that is the dream. Like these moments are like, I think he'd won like a fucking Ironman championships he'd won, and he literally was like giving his speech saying like all these times, like getting up early, being diligent, being disciplined, the hard work, the injuries, like that's the dream. Like this is just a moment. It's just a moment of joy. Like it's not sustainable.
If I just woke up tomorrow now and someone rang me like, "Oh, Kieran, we made a mistake, mate. You've actually won your pro card." I'd be like, "Oh, fucking hell. Oh, shit. Thanks for that." Then I'd sit there and probably think, "Oh, that was fucking shit. What now?" I mean, like, you've got to. Oh, me. I mean, I've still done a lot of work to get where I am, but just imagine that. Forget about bodybuilding and pro card. Let's say the money thing, for example. How many people win a lottery? They're like, "Oh my god, life's going to change," and then fucking 2 weeks later, like, "Well, this is fucking shit."
Yeah, because it's the purpose of it. It's the day-to-day purpose. And I think I always said this to one of my clients the other day. I was like, if you could just never train again, never step foot in a gym again, ever. You couldn't do any sort of physical activity, but you'd have your dream physique. Would you trade it off?
No, mate, I wouldn't do that.
I was like,
I wouldn't
no.
do
I
it.
was like, but because it's
I'd
not.
rather not have my dream physique, but go to the gym every day and try and attain it.
But it's not the physique, is it? It's not like, I put it on that new fucking Threads thing. I was like, it's not abs. Like, people think competitive bodybuilders give a fuck about abs. We don't care about abs. It's having purpose, it's having the drive, it's having a goal, it's having all these things to work towards that fucking gets you up in the morning.
Yeah, it's the goal. It's the goal.
Yeah.
Because goals can change too. Goals can change. Look at the Giant at the minute, yeah. You know, he's completely and fully happy with not bodybuilding
But
because
that's
his goals change.
because he's basically flipped whatever we were saying about business. We were like, you know what? If we put the same mindset as diligence into business, or time and energy into business as we do bodybuilding, it's impossible to fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Impossible to fail. And it's just been the same mindset, the same drive, everything just changed. And that's what obviously Jamie's doing. He's just in the Giant, he basically just changed his sort of like drive and what his goal is.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing that cripples a lot of people is when they retire from their said sport, they don't then find a new goal. They just try and relive what they can't do now,
Yeah.
That's what screws them. And a lot of them, say boxers or whatever, they go back to it and then get fucked. Do you know?
Yeah. Or they basically can't they can't handle, like, obviously not being that guy.
Yeah.
And I always have this I've had this saying for years where I was like, I don't want to be that guy who's like, I woulda, coulda, shoulda.
No.
I want to be the guy that did, or even to the point where I want to be, it's going to sound bad, but I want to be in a gym. I don't really want to have to introduce myself. I want people to be like, that guy. I'm not me telling you who I am.
Yeah.
People saying he was really fucking good.
That'd be right. That'd be amazing in your respective area. But I'd also love to be in such a mindset that, let's just say, didn't have the body anymore, in my 50s or whatever, and I'm in a different country or whatever, and there's some guys that are in shape and they come over and we're just chatting. I'd like to be so comfortable that I wouldn't even have to say to them, hey, I used to be a bodybuilder, you know, when I used to be as big as you. I'd love to just be so comfortable I wouldn't even be bothered enough to have to say anything because I'd be so happy with where I'm at.
What's weird as well is because I always have this saying where I'm like, bodybuilding is something that I do. It's not who I am. Because I'm many things. I'm different. I'm a different, like, you're a business owner, you're a family man, you're a friend, you're a son, you're so many different things. And bodybuilding is just something you do. And I think what happens is when people define themselves, and a lot of, I notice this with a lot of parents, a lot of people, or like mums, they're so scared of the kids getting older because they'll never be, who will I be? Like, I'm a mum. I'm a mum. Like, I'll always be a mum. And it's like,
sorry, go on, mate, finish that.
Go on.
So how many times, right, have you been in a position, like, I'll just say this with the kids now, but I've done it with other people as well. And we might be, I'm being a dad at the minute, and I'm doing dad things, and I'm just totally switched on to being a dad. And you know, they might cuddle me and they go, "Oh, Dad, for your muscles they're big," and I'm thinking, "Put me, forget I've got them."
Yeah.
I'm not a bodybuilder right now. I'm a dad.
Yeah, you literally just
about is my fucking shoulders look big there, my arms look big there. I've got no fucking care in the world about it.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to cuddle with my kids and watch TV. Do you know what I mean?
That's what it is as well. Is like you do different things. You don't define as one thing. So when people do and they're no longer that, it's the whole identity crisis. They have a massive identity crisis. Like, well, I'm a bodybuilder. It's like, no, you used to bodybuild.
Yeah.
It's like you're Kieran, you're Ryan. You used to bodybuild. Now, what do you want to do?
I don't like you say. We went Trafford Centre for something to eat, didn't we? Yeah. I didn't think before I came out, like, do I look like a bodybuilder with what I'm wearing?
No.
I thought it was comfortable to go out, and I'm not walking around thinking, is everyone looking at me like, oh, his arms look big? Doesn't cross my mind. I'm there, like, looking forward to spending time with Ryan and the family. Where we're going to eat? What conversations are we going to have? And my kids happy. We took them shopping and that, and it was like.
I play it down, like, say I go on holiday to Ibiza. When we went away to Ibiza, people are like, fucking hell, bro, you look sick. I'm like, just, you know, it's just tight vest, or it's just, and I play it down. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, as little as possible. And they're like, fucking, like, man, you must be into the gym. I was like, yeah, I go now and again. Because the thing is like, there's so much more to me than just being a bodybuilder. So, you know, or just being like doing bodybuilding. So it's like, I don't like to define myself and be like, I always say, like, I'm a bodybuilder because
No,
you know, like when someone says to me like, "Oh, you a bodybuilder?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do shows like now and again." Like I don't go into it because I'm like, it doesn't define who I am.
So when we're abroad, like I wear vests out of comfort. I wore vests before I started bodybuilding. I've got millions of pictures of me wearing a vest, skinny kid.
Get
Vests are
them out.
but I am not. I am the last person to take it off.
Yeah.
I won't be walking down the street abroad with no top on.
Nah.
But the lads that I'm with will all have no tops on.
Yeah. Do you know?
I'm,
But I get a little bit like I get a bit conscious.
they're conscious, mate.
Yeah, because you know everybody's gonna. This is what happens. Like Jade will say to me, she'll like take it off, and I'm like, was in a beef for rocks, right? So I had you know, like a fucking shirt, like fucking like just open shirt on. I thought I just won't keep that on. She's like, take your fucking shirt off, like because obviously like shirts don't fit very well, do they? So it's tight as my arms, and I'm like trying to move, and I'm like, it's right. So she says, just take the fucking thing off. Everyone's like, all right, okay. But I knew what was going to come. Everybody's going to be staring at me, and everybody's going to obviously like not in a horrible way, just in a like an admiring way or whatever it is. And then I'm like, I start feeling weird. Like I start like I'm thinking, fucking, oh, everyone's looking at me, and everyone's pointing at me, or everyone's talking about me, and I start getting conscious, and I think, oh, I fucking hate it. Or I think they think in my head that I'm showing off.
Yeah, that's what happens, right? Then because what happens to me a lot in situations like that, I know everyone's fucking looking at me. It makes me feel a bit tense. So my body's tensed, not like all posed. It's not relaxed.
Yeah, you're not
I end up
relaxing.
feeling really horrible and shit. My shoulders are hurting and stuff. And I'm thinking, I just feel uncomfortable. I just want a big baggy t-shirt on. I'm here to fucking chill and relax.
And I think that's another point of like, we don't bodybuild for vanity.
No.
Like don't get me wrong, you want to look good, but you
Yeah,
don't. You don't look at yourself every day. I'm fucking hell. Like you more so look at yourself when I need more biceps or more
yeah,
triceps.
it's for competition. It's to beat the next person or to be better. Like, oh, that'd be cool if I could do this. You know, and you don't do it to be like, I'm going to look great in this t-shirt, or these people are going to say this to me. That doesn't cross my mind.
I think, like I say, it becomes, and it's going to sound fucking stupid, but it becomes a point. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to want to go out and be the biggest, and I was tiny. Because I was tiny, I wanted to, like, I wouldn't wear black because it was slimming. I'd be like, fuck that, I'm wearing white. It fucking makes me look bigger. T-shirt would be in the fucking dryer, and I'd be fucking press-ups and doing fucking pre-workout before I went out. I'd be like, fucking, yeah, like, do I look big? And it's like, you're massive, like, let's have it then. Tiny. Rosary beads on, tiny as fuck. And
you go for them stages, right? When you first start the gym or whatever, you see a bit of muscle, right? You wear tight tops.
Mate, V-neck, like the biggest V-neck I've ever seen in my life. Like my nipples, and the people used to say to me, "Fucking look at state your top, Matt. Like wrong with my fucking top." And I think, what's the fucking jealous cunts? No, your top look ridiculous, mate.
Yeah,
bit really
bad. And then you go from tight tops to the biggest, baggiest tops ever. Yeah. And then when you actually have some muscle, you kind of come back around and just wear what's comfortable.
Yeah, you just wear what you want. You're just like, you know what, I like that t-shirt, I'm gonna wear that.
Yeah.
But I get it, you'll have it probably as well. Like you get it, and then every single person was like, fucking hell, because weird thing for me is because I'm always around bodybuilders, my job, but like fucking bodybuilders, the gym's bodybuilders, my mates are all bodybuilders, so everybody's big. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like you go into like a quote unquote normal place or a bar, because I don't go out much or whatever. Like I'll go out to a bar and I'm like, wow, everyone is so small. They're not normal, but it's like, like my missus does it all the time. She's like, yeah, he's tiny. I'm like, you know, he's just normal. Like he's just a normal person. Yeah, all the kids do it.
So I'll put like a baggy t-shirt on that doesn't, it's not sat in any crease. To me, I look normal, right? In my own head, I look normal. I go out, loads of people say shit, and I look at Chris and I'm like, "What? I don't look fat or what?" And she's like, "No, you look fucking massive." I'm like, "But how? It's not." I mean, in your own head, you're like, I feel like you're not normal, but there's no hiding it. Even if you put a jumper on now, right, like a big jumper that wasn't sat on your shoulders or cuts or anything, you still just look big and thick and muscly.
It's better as well. Like you get your perception of big changes, doesn't it? Because like, people are like, "Oh, he's not even that big." And it's like he's actually looks really good. It's crazy. What have you got on for? What day is it? Thursday? What have you got on for rest? Oh, we're training tomorrow, aren't we?
We're training tomorrow, yeah. Oh, there's the wife. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I think I've got that. I think I've got NLP in the morning. I've got no kids.
Yeah. How's that going?
Good, mate. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. just stages. Do you know what I mean? Like it was amazing for leading into Portugal, and now before this next show, things have changed up here for me. So then I'm trying to learn new things,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
after the last show, I reckon it's going to be really difficult for a few
Right.
weeks because you get like a bit of post-show depression.
Anti-climax, isn't it?
Yeah. So then I think I'm going to learn. I think it's going to be difficult, but I'll learn a lot.
Mm.
So that's why I'm happy that I'm doing it.
Yeah, I seen that that's when I reached out to like a life coach and so on, because I seen like have you ever seen UFC Israel Adesanya?
Yeah, yeah,
Start.
yeah,
He was saying like he wasn't even I think his first fight in the UFC, and he was like, I was depressed after it.
yeah.
Because when you feel so many, like what happens, like what people say happens is your highs are so high that your lows are going to be even lower.
Even lower, mate. Yeah.
So when people experience these high highs, so like again saying anticlimax of winning a show or doing a show or doing really well or winning a pro card, it was like you're up here. You know,
Yeah.
it goes down. Everything else feels shit, and it's
Like,
realizing like that's not normal.
points. Yeah, it's set points. It's like, fuck me, I drive a really nice Mercedes and absolutely love it. My mate's just bought me this Lamborghini for the week, and after it, now my Mercedes is fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you've got to understand that.
You change your set point, or you realize that like that isn't happiness,
Yeah,
it's just joy. It's just
yeah.
a momentary thing where that's what we were saying before, the process and all that everything else. That's the process is the fucking
So that's why it's good to have NLP coaching, mindset coaching, or something to help you understand them parts of life because you're going to come across them.
and it took me forever to realize that. Like it was
Yeah,
like, you remember when I told you I went training with Tom,
yeah,
your gym?
yeah,
That was one of the main reasons. I was like, I was lost. I was like, I don't even want to train. I don't know
yeah,
what I'm doing. Like, what am I? And it was like, luckily, he was like, come and train with me, and it was like a new thing. You know what I mean? It was like
yeah.
a lease of life that was enjoyable. But like, yeah,
Even us just looking up together now, it's been like boom, fires relit, hasn't it?
even with coaching, like I say, I texted you the other day about it because I was like, you've inspired me or motivated me to do even more
Yeah.
because then I'm like, I'm excited by it because I'm sharing something with someone.
It's fucking cool, mate, and it is. It's cool. We do it for.
That's the thing as well. It's like it's nothing. It's as we keep going back to and alluding to, is like it's all about helping other people be the
Yeah,
best version of them. And I can only help so many people because I've only got so much time. Whereas like when you come on board and your level of coaching, your level of motivation, your as it morals, everything values all align with me.
yeah,
It's like you text me today. It's like we're like the same person. It's like
yeah.
it's like having me again. So it's like okay, well we can help another fucking 100 people. And
Look at it already. Like I mean, tomorrow, yeah, we're training together, but for what reason? Because we're doing an in-person check-in with someone. Yeah.
yeah, and
The
that's
next week, we're staying over and peaking them and getting them on stage. Then we're going to another show the day after to help someone else. It's all about helping other people.
yeah, 100, and that gives you more fulfillment than fucking just being like you'll probably have the same thing. It sounds sad, but like I get more out of that than I do compete myself.
Yeah, obviously you do, mate. Like, it's the most selfish, unselfish thing you can fucking do.
Weird,
I
isn't it?
love helping other people because it makes me feel good. I'm a selfish
Well,
cunt.
I was watching that Stephen Bartlett's podcast, and he had that is it Jay Shetty? Have you ever seen him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was saying like, as I wrote on my post today, is like if you can find your passion, serve other people with it. This is what is like supposedly the definition of happiness, and then obviously monetize that to make sure you can live, not be a millionaire, not be rich, but live and to the life you want. That's the win. Like that is
Basically what we're doing right now.
basically that. I was like, there's not
Yeah.
much anything better. Do you know
Not
what
much else for our life, mate. So if you was a billionaire now, right? You've had your fancy jet, your fancy boat, your fancy cars, right? You know as well as me, when you've got something fancy Rolex or whatever, that joy lasts for 10 minutes, mate.
I
Once
mean?
a few of your mates are sitting in that Lambo, don't give a fuck anymore, and that feeling's gone, right? So what you're going to do then for happiness and enjoyment? Well,
Yeah.
I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Going to be doing what I'm doing now.
I do this thing where I do my perfect day, and I've done it since I used to. I used to work in Sainsbury's on a fucking chicken counter to get free chickens. It was fucking
That's
horrendous.
what I'm massive, isn't it?
Yeah,
Eating chicken.
mate. I was. I was like, fucking put that down to a pound. Put that one down to a pound. Put that. And I've been walking out with, and this woman I used to say to me, Well, you're meant to cook them chickens, not take them home. Oh, every day, fucking 3 chickens every day. But anyway, I used to do this thing in my head, like my perfect day. And it's actually, I don't know the woman who's wrote the book, but it's basically setting out your day if you could have everything exactly the way you would want it. Just like do what you want in every single hour of the day. And realistically, when you break it down, it's not things like fucking pool parties or fucking yachts or jets or shopping. It's the small things of taking kids to school, going to the gym to meet your client, or like all these little things of being in control, or like say having a meeting at the hub with the guys for the team meeting. All these little.
I swear, mate. Like I do it myself. I'm glad you said it because I do it myself. You know, tomorrow is a perfect. I don't want to. Tomorrow, I don't want to drive a Lamborghini tomorrow. I don't want to be in a yacht tomorrow. I don't want to be on a plane. I don't want to be abroad. Tomorrow, I want to do exactly what I'm doing. Right. I'm going to go up and do my non-negotiables. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have my NLP coaching, which I'm looking forward to. I'm going to meet you. We're going to train. We're going to get some content. We're going to help Mark in-person check-in. I'm looking forward to it. And then we're going to pick the kids up from school, me and the wife. We're going to switch off. And we're taking the cinema to watch Barbie. Yeah. And that's exactly what I want to do tomorrow.
And it's like, but then it's like, that's the win. That's exactly the win. And that's where people kind of, they don't know if it's not. We're saying about like dopamine hits. Like if you buy something new, you get a dopamine hit. But there's no more dopamine than when you bought your first car to when you buy it. There's nothing more releasing.
You're always looking for that next thing. That next hit.
It's short-lived. It's like a drug. It's like but when we're getting real deep on this now, but when you realize like that's not the real life, it's just a moment. It's a goal. It might be a goal and you've got it in sweet. I've ticked it off. But it's the same with the shows. It's like, it's a goal, it's a moment, you've ticked it off. But as long as everything else on your day-to-day life is perfect, you're winning. Isn't it?
Exactly, mate.
What a fucking podcast. No more podcasts. How you fucking slags.
How long's it been?
I don't know. Not long enough. No, man, I'm going to stay accountable to this and keep this shit up. We are going to keep this up. I'm going to bring some guests in. I was thinking about like, bodybuilding guests, but even other guests, just people that have got fucking wisdom and just life experience and just
life experience, mate. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding. Like you say, someone that's a millionaire, someone that's got loads of businesses, so someone that someone can learn off.
Yeah, someone who people can resonate with and learn from. It's kind of like we said,
who come from nothing like us, but they've done fucking better than us.
Well, just within their field, they're doing really well and they're on the way, and people could take something away from that. Just interesting conversations. That's what I think, rather than just all about gear. We'll do some about gear, obviously, but all about gear and all about diet and stuff, because that's mainly what people want to listen to. But I think it's been a fucking amazing first episode. I pray this saves to my computer, and if it doesn't, just record it again.
Just do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, just do it again. But thank you for everybody watching. Don't comment and say how shit we are. No, I'm only joking. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. We will be.
How many sinful fucking comments can we get on this one video?
I'm gonna come on and just jab I haven't got any sinful. So, but like, subscribe, all that jazz. But no, it's been fucking epic. We're gonna keep this up. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.